Okay, guys, so welcome to this week's LinkedIn Power Hour. My name's Craig. I'm sure you all know me by now. And what we're going to be covering today, guys, is a few different lead generation strategies on LinkedIn. And we're also going to be looking at profile optimization. And I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of tips and tricks, and also sharing with you 3 of the most common mistakes that I see people make with their profiles. Okay. So to dive straight in, I'm going to share my screen with you, if that's okay. And to kick us off, let's start with some. In fact, as I'm on my profile, let's start with the 3 of the biggest mistakes that I see people make with their profiles. So the first thing that I see a lot of people do, and no doubt you guys will see this too, is people that don't display their profile photo on their profile to people that they're not connected to. This is worth checking, guys, just in case because unless it's someone else looking at your profile, you wouldn't know if your profile photo is visible to people that you're not connected to. All right, so very important. Make sure that you note this down and check it after. All right, so what I want everyone to do, in fact, let me show you an example. Let me see if I can find an example here. Let's go to my network. Let's go. Here's an example, right? So if you see a profile like this, more often than not, especially if they've got a banner, more often than not, they have got a profile photo, but they haven't got it set to public, which means that anybody that's not a connection, this is what they'll view. And the question you have to ask yourself is, would you want to connect with a faceless person? Probably not, right? The chances of somebody accepting a connection request from somebody without a profile photo is minimal, because it's our profile photo that helps us establish and build rapport. It's eye contact and all that sort of thing, right? So let me go back to my profile now and just show you, just to make sure that you can go in and double check how to fix this. So click on your profile photo. On doing so, click on the edit pencil. And all you're going to do is just, where is it? Have they changed? Ah, here, they've changed it. Okay, so here you can see it says anyone. If you click on anyone, you can see you've got these 4 options here. All right, so make sure that you come in and you make sure that it's not on any of these. All right, it should be on anyone so that anyone can see your profile photo. So for sorry, who's just joined us? Yeah, Valeria. Hi, Valeria. You okay? It's all right. So you haven't missed much, but don't worry. The replay will be in the replay section of the classroom. Okay. So yeah, guys, just make sure this is set to anyone so that anybody can see your profile photo, which increases your chances of people accepting connection requests from outside your network. Moving on to the second biggest mistake that I see people make with their profile. And it's, if I move down the profile here for a second, it's writing their about section and making it all about them. Making it all about you, using the word I multiple times throughout your about section is not a good idea. All right, because when someone lands on your profile for the first time, if you manage to get them to your about section and they open your about section, you need to be making sure that you're putting yourself in your ideal client profile shoes. All right, no problem, Ganesh. So what you want to be making sure of is that you position your about section to speak to your ideal target audience and take the focus off yourself. All right. So if you look at this, it doesn't say, sorry, I'm just letting some more latecomers in. Bear with me a moment. You'll notice here that it doesn't say about me. It just says about. All right. So take the focus off yourself when you write your about section. Do not make it all about you. Make it about your ideal target audience and how you help them solve their problems. The third mistake I see people make all the time on their profile is in the featured section. And in the featured section, the mistake so many people make is they fill their featured section with lots of historic posts, right? Should we say? So if you've got your profile set up at the moment, and you've added old posts, or maybe your most viral posts in your featured section, but you want to convert your customers or your profile visitors into customers, then I highly recommend that you remove all of the posts and instead you add links to landing pages, links to some sort of value exchange where somebody can come on here and they can, for example, on mine, I offer a get your free profile score, or it could be book a free consultation or something along those lines. But essentially, you need to be making sure that you're not adding posts here, you're adding links. All right. Because ultimately, when somebody clicks on your link to the value exchange, what you should be doing is getting them to fill in a lead form to part with their information in exchange for something of value that you give them in return. That could be an ebook, it could be a case study, or just something that they would find of massive value. So there's three big mistakes that I see a lot of people making with their profile. But what I want to do now is just move swiftly on to some lead generation strategies that I talked about right at the beginning. So is it fair to, can everybody just click on the raise? In fact, just click on the thumbs up emoji if you are on LinkedIn to generate leads. If that is your primary goal, just stick your thumbs up. Yeah. It's the main goal of the majority of business owners on LinkedIn. They're looking to generate those all important leads. And what they don't realize, though, is that unless you are a massive influencer with a massive following, you can't rely on inbound, right? There's no way that you're going to get enough inbound inquiries through your profile that is going to sustain your business. All right. So you have to be prepared to do some sort of outreach or some sort of outbound communication with the people that are in your network. All right. So now even me, I've got a healthy audience. I would say I'm sort of maybe mini influencer level at the moment. So I've got a good size following, and even I still do outreach. So I just kind of putting it out there, guys. If you think you can, just create content and get lots of inbound inquiries to your business, then you're kidding yourself. That's not going to happen. You may get the odd one here and there, but remember that you've then got to book that person into a meeting, and then you've got to do the closing and the converting and everything else, right? So you need a lot of those inbound inquiries in order for it to translate into actual business. So hopefully, a couple of the things that I share with you today will help you in finding leads. And believe it or not, there are plenty of leads to go at. You just probably maybe don't know exactly how to search for them. So hopefully, when I go through a couple of these strategies, you will have a much better idea of how to go about it. So the first place to look is on your content, right? So, or on it, and this could be on someone else's content as well. But if you go to your content, one of the places that I always look is when I've posted a piece of content, I'll go onto the piece of content itself and I will just click on the likes here. Because ultimately, if somebody is liking your content or even commenting on your content, but I always like just focus on the likes for now. If they're liking your content, they're signaling interest. They're signaling that they dig you. They dig your vibe on LinkedIn. They appreciate you in some way, shape, or form. And if you see like usual suspects keep cropping up on your content, and if they fit your ICP, your ideal client profile of somebody that you want to work with, then it makes sense to, in fact, I'll show you what I do. I click onto the likes, I scroll down, and if I find somebody that I would want to potentially work with, so let's go with Donna, what I do is I click on that person, I open up a new tab, and then I go back. And then I click on another person that that matches my ICP, and I go back. And all I do is I work through the list, trying to find all the people that I could potentially offer my products and services to. Not Imran, obviously. Rowena. Anyway, once I've gone through that process, guys, I then close this down, and then I'll go through each one of these profiles. So they're taking a while to load. I'll go through each one of these profiles one by one, and I'll message them directly. If we're not connected, obviously, I'll send them a connection request. So if I was sending them a connection request, I would say something along the lines of, hey, thanks so much for engaging with my content today. I really appreciate the support on my post. It means the world. I hope you'll consider connecting. All right. So, and then it's about kind of when they accept the connection request, it's then about messaging them and, thanking them for joining my network. And again, asking conversation starting questions to take the conversation in the direction that I want it to go in. Okay. I won't get too much into DMs right now and about that. That's another session, but I just want to kind of just show you like how you go about finding these leads. And this is one method of doing so. Has anybody got any questions on that? Feel free to turn your mics on if you've got any questions. I think somebody just piped up and asked a question just a moment ago. Where's the question that they asked?
It's me. I'll just ask it.
Yeah, if you could ask Susan, that's great. Thanks.
Sure. Hang on. Let me just turn on my camera so I don't look like a head. So I noticed on your list that most of the people that had liked are already first connections of yours.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of filter that? Like,
yeah.
So you're not overwhelming the same. Sometimes it's hard as you're building an audience and you haven't like really connected yet to keep track of everyone. And then my other part of that question was, what if, how do you feel? I don't currently post a lot of content. I'm kind of using more the great comment strategy in order to get more visibility at the moment. And so is it appropriate to go in and use the same method on another post that I've commented on and find other people that have played there? So what do you think about those two?
Really good questions, both of them. So I think I said right at the beginning that it's perfectly acceptable to go onto somebody else's post and find people that are comment on their content. Yeah, comment on their comments, right? So what you're doing is you're opening up the lines of communication. You're building rapport in the comments. You're positioning yourself as well. So you're giving yourself more visibility on someone else's content. Okay, and also if you're writing comments really early, as soon as somebody is posted, and you're writing a quality comment, that comment, I call it a sticky comment, where it sticks to the top, where it stays at the top. Because if you get other people commenting on your post, because LinkedIn's algorithm wants us to have conversations, it means that it will push your comment and make it stick to the top. So you'll get even more exposure and more visibility on your content. So yes, the short answer to that question is yes, it's perfectly acceptable to reach out in the comments and comment on other people's content, but also then to if somebody says something that really resonates with you, or if your comment really resonates with them, and you get into kind of like a back and forth commenting situation, that's brilliant. But at some point, you need to know when to transition and pivot into the DMs. And it's then that in the DMs, guys, I can't stress the importance of this enough. It's in the DMs that the magic happens. If you know how to ask the right questions, and if you know how to guide a conversation in the right direction, it will result in a face-to-face meeting. And that's where we build even more rapport, right? In a face-to-face. So, so remember again, I did say that we're not going to talk about the DMs today, but when you do go into the DMs, just very quickly, you might want to write this down, but it is recorded. What the goal is to connect, build rapport, nurture relationship, identify pain points, offer solutions, and then incentivize to book an appointment. Okay. And we'll cover this on another session, guys, in the DMs, but yeah, hopefully, that sort of makes sense. You need to be again, that's connect, build rapport, nurture relationship, identify pain points, offer solutions, and incentivize to book an appointment. Okay. coming back to the second question that you asked, Susan, and that's that the way that you can track this is, let me just go back a moment. Go to the feed. So let's say, for example, if Charlotte, if me and Charlotte have been commenting on each other's posts and whatever, and we're engaged in some sort of conversation, if I click onto her profile, has anybody put your hands up if you've ever, or give me a thumbs up if you've ever heard of Folk?
Yeah, but it's expensive, and
there's a free option.
Not anymore. I remembered it from another call, and I went and looked. You get like 5 on a free. It's just really,
okay.
They've changed, you know, as every software company grows,
Yeah.
the freebies get smaller, and
Yeah.
the pay, you know, they're trying to obviously keep their company alive. So I get that, but yeah, it's a great tool, but it's, as a free tool, it's not, I'll double check, but I did, it came up in another call and I looked it up and it was pricey.
Okay, I'm using Folk, but I don't believe I'm paying for it. So maybe I need to check my subscription.
Or maybe you were an early adopter, because sometimes too, like many things, you know, if you get in early or whatever. Yeah,
that could be it. So the only other option really is to have it as a, manage them on a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Or, which is not ideal. Or it could be that you do it like this, where you kind of, you create a list and then you bookmark them and save them into so you can see here, for example, I've got my top creators.
Yep, I've got mine too. Yep, that was a great tip.
Yeah, so you could create another one here for I don't know, engaged with my content or whatever you want to call it.
Good idea.
And then just save them into that list. Okay. Okay.
Quick question too. Once I've made that list, is there a way to edit it? I think I wanted to add someone to the list I had created, and I feel like I probably went around it in a more complicated way than necessary.
Are you talking about these lists here?
Yes, those lists within LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah. So within LinkedIn, you go back to your search criteria. So depending on what your criteria is, it would just be about, if you wanted to add an additional member, go to all filters. And then here, for example, you can see all the members. You just add the person's name. But once you've added the person, you would then need to bookmark that again as a
new one. Okay, I was right.
And delete the old list. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. I just thought I might be missing some easier way to go about that.
Sure. Yeah. No problem.
Perfect. Yeah, those lists are brilliant. That was a great tip.
No, I'm glad you're making good use of that. So somebody else just asked a question. Bear with me a second. Do you reach? Valeria, did you ask a question? An incredible took second CRM system HubSpot tool. Oh no, but that wasn't a question. I think you were just chatting between yourselves, guys. Okay. Yes, that's how you spell it as well. Folk, F-O-L-K. Let me just show you very quickly like how Folk works, because if you want to kind of check it out, it's really cool. You just literally you download the Chrome extension, right? So it's a Chrome extension. It then appears like this on every profile that you use. And then let's say, for example, if Dina was a great lead for me, and I can click on add to Folk, and this is like a full, oh, in fact, I've not signed in. It's like a full CRM system. And inside the CRM system, if I just quickly log in with my credentials, so Craig at Brandon dot. Oh God, this is a pain. I can't. Can you see here, guys, that basically you can create different lists, and then basically what happens is a little pop-up will come up, and you can drop them into the relevant list on the right hand side of the screen. So I don't want to go. Can you see this, like this pop-up here? Instead, what it would do is this pop-up will come up, and you'll just literally select the list that you want to drop them into in the CRM. So it's a really handy tool, and I use it daily. Okay. moving on to another way to generate leads on LinkedIn. Yes, Susan. Okay, thanks for confirming that. Okay, so using the search tool here, another great place to find leads is in events. So what I want to do now is do a search for a particular keyword. So let's say, for example, if I did a search for LinkedIn lead generation as a keyword.
Craig, we can't see your screen any longer.
Sorry about that. Bear with. Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Okay, so if I've just, all I've done there, guys, is I've just typed in LinkedIn lead generation, like so, as a keyword. Now, that keyword could be anything of your choosing, right? But the idea here is that we're looking for something that's relative to our business, right? So LinkedIn lead generation for me is it's relative to my business. So if I click into LinkedIn, or if I do a search for LinkedIn lead generation, and then I use the filters and select events. So the great thing about events is that when people book onto events, they're signaling their interest in a specific topic. So if you've done a keyword search for something like LinkedIn lead generation to find LinkedIn lead generation events, it's safe to assume that the people that are attending that event are interested in LinkedIn lead generation and in improving their knowledge in that area, right? So if you've got a product or a service, like I do, I have a product that I can offer that helps people with LinkedIn lead generation, then it makes sense to target these events and try to connect and engage with the people attending them, right? So if I go into, let's say if I go into this one, and obviously when we're selecting the events, we need to make sure that there's a decent number of attendees. So in this one here, look, there's over 14,000 attendees. That's probably too much, right? Because you're not going to get through 14,000 attendees. But the point I'm making is that once this button here, if you haven't joined this event, this button here will say attend. I've already said that I'm attending this, so now it's saying share. All right. But you'd click on attend. The moment that you click on attend, it would then open up the attendee list like this. It would appear as a link, and you can go into the link and see every single person that is attending that event. So now what we could do is we could then like look at each person, and if we see somebody in this list that matches our ICP, that is looking for, I don't know, some sort of a lead generation strategy, I can now reach out to these people, connect, send them a message, and begin that conversation, or even just go onto their profile, start following them, and start commenting on their content. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Yeah. So it's just another avenue. Another one, guys, is groups. Like you could target groups as well. So, you know, very easy to kind of do a search again. I don't know, say if you were trying to think of a random topic, let's go with artificial, or let's go AI tips. And we're looking for this time, let's just untick that, reset, sorry. Cancel. Sorry, I'm just going to refresh this. So AI tips, and let's go with groups. Here. Now, the tricky thing with groups, of course, is that you have to be a member of the group. You will have to join as a member if you want to be able to speak to people in that group, all right? Or if you want to connect with them. So what I'm going to do, you can see that this is the list of groups, and look, you can see there's a decent number of members within these groups that you could then potentially reach out to if your chosen topic was artificial intelligence, or if you had some sort of AI tool that you wanted to offer to the members of this group. So what you would need to do, let's say if you selected this group, you would need to join it and wait for them to accept you into the group before you could then start reaching out. So let me show you what happens, because I'm not a member of any of these groups. If I go to one of my groups that I am a member of here, so I'm in, I'm a veteran, so I'm in the GenDit network. And so you can see here that this group has got 15,258 members. So what I can now do is click on show all, because I've been accepted as a member, and I've now got access to 15,258 members. Now, the interesting thing, guys, and this is gold, right? You don't even have to be connected to these people to send them a message. So like you could just reach out to these guys like without a connection request, just because you're in the same community. LinkedIn is recognizing that you both have shared interest. So it's not asking, you haven't got to send a connection request to send these guys a message. I'm not connected to any of these people, but I can send them a message, no problem. Yeah. So you can start, I mean, I wouldn't recommend sending them a message right off the bat anyway, but like I would probably, like if I found somebody that matched my ICP in here, I would click into their profile, open their profile. And then what I would do is look at their content, engage with their content first a couple of times, and then I'd send them, then I'd probably go back to that list and send them a message. No point connecting with them right, straight away, until such time as if you've got that opportunity to send them a message directly to see if they're interested in learning more about your products and services, then that would probably be the better route to go. Any questions on that at all, on those two strategies? Fairly straightforward. Has anybody seen those strategies before? Familiar with them? Are they new to you guys? Yeah. Okay. Are they helpful? Will you get value from those? Yeah. Okay, great. All right. Another one, which is massively overlooked. A lot of people, I see people doing polls on LinkedIn, and it makes me cringe sometimes. The things that people ask, because instead of using polls strategically, they just use it to ask like silly questions that have no bearing or don't serve them in any way. So when it comes to doing a poll, I want you to consider using polls as a lead generation strategy moving forwards. So for example, like I could get anybody 50% off a yearly Sales Navigator subscription, right? So if somebody wanted Sales Navigator and they didn't want to pay over $1,000 for it for the year, I could get it for them for like 555 quid, I think it is. Yeah. Sorry, $555. I beg your pardon. So what I could possibly do is create a poll, and I could ask a question. So I'm going to go down to the more button here, the more button, or the plus sign here, and I'm going to click on the poll icon, and we're going to create a poll. Now, I'm not actually going to create the poll as such, but I could say something like, do you get value from using Sales Navigator? Yes, no, other, comment below, something like that. And by doing a poll like that, what that's then doing for me is it's giving me data on who's using Sales Navigator and who's not. Yeah. So what I could then do is reach out to all the people that are not using Sales Navigator and say, hey, I noticed you're not using Sales Navigator. Start a conversation. Is there a reason why you're not using it? Would you be interested in 50% discount on a yearly subscription? Yeah. Another way of using it would be to I'm trying to think now of lost my train of thought. No, I'll tell you what, what I want to show you, actually, let's come back here for a second. Let's actually find one of my polls. This might take a little bit of time, guys, but I want to show you what happens when you get your results in from a poll and how you use that information. Where am I going here? Show all posts. I know I did a poll not that long ago, so I won't have to scroll back too far, I don't think. Bear with. Here. Okay, so I am an affiliate at ScoreUp, right? So I help people sign up to ScoreUp, and I share with them tips, tricks, and strategies on how to get the most out of their quiz. So most of you may have seen my profile quiz, right? You may have taken my quiz to get your profile score. But notice here what I say is, do you use ScoreUp? No, what's ScoreUp is one of the options. Yes, I have a free account. Yes, I have a paid account. So I got 45 votes, right? It got low engagement, but 45 votes. Okay. So I can now go into the votes and I can see all the people that have no idea what ScoreUp is. So I can reach out to these people and educate them on what ScoreUp is. Would you be interested in seeing how ScoreUp works and how people are generating pre-qualified leads via their LinkedIn profile? This one, yes, I have a free account. Okay, you're using the free version. Would you be interested in seeing how much more you could do with the paid version? Let's jump on a call. Let me show you how my paid account enables me to capture tons of pre-qualified leads and tons more data than any other lead magnet on the planet. And then if they have a paid account, how's that going for you? I could go and look at their quiz, and if it wasn't designed very well, I could say, do you know that we offer a quiz building service to enable you to capture leads from your LinkedIn profile? So all I'm trying to show you guys is that if you want to generate leads, then polls is an amazing way to do it, because what you're doing is you're pre-qualifying your audience, and you're also dropping them into different buckets to enable you to reach out to those people with some type of outreach message based on how they respond to your poll. And also, let me tell you something else as well about polls. If you reach out to somebody that's taken your poll and you send them a connection request that's personalized, that says, hey, thanks for taking my poll, really appreciate your feedback, I hope you'll consider connecting too, 100% connection acceptance rate, guaranteed. Because they interacted with you kind of first, right? They interacted with your poll. You're just thanking them for their interaction and for the feedback that they've given you, and so they accept the connection request. As soon as it's accepted, you can then start that conversation and move it in the direction you want it to go in. Okay, so just consider groups, events, and polls as three really great ways to capture, or sorry, to find leads on LinkedIn. And the final one that I'm going to talk about today is, and again, one that nobody remembers to do, and it's profile views. People who view your profile are signaling interest. They're doing searches, and they could have stumbled across your profile for any reason, but they may have done a search. Somebody may have recommended you, so they went and checked you out. The fact that they viewed your profile is a signal of interest. So you need to be jumping all over it. You know here, like where it says profile views on your profile, when you visit your own profile, this is where it sits. You click into it and you see all the people that have viewed your profile. You can even like sort them by companies, interesting viewers, etc., and industry. But you can see this guy here, CEO Playfair, right? I work with CEOs, right? So what I do, guys, once a week, I have it in my calendar, my Google calendar. Once a week on a Monday, I check my profile views first thing in the morning, go through them, and then if I'm not connected to them, I send them a connection request saying, hey, thanks for stopping by my profile. I hope you found what you was looking for, and hope you'll consider connecting. Again, more often than not, they'll accept your connection request. And then when they do, you can then follow up saying, was there something in particular that you were looking for when you visited my profile? Is there anything I can help with? Again, it's just a great way to start a conversation. So that's pretty much it for those lead generation strategies. I could go on all day about lead generation because there's lots more, but I'm just mindful of time, and I want it to be ample opportunity for you guys to ask questions, all right? Because that's what we're here for, so that I can provide you with the best possible answers as best as I can anyway, to any questions that you've got. So hands up, guys, if you've got any questions at all on anything that I've just shown you, or anything besides what I've just shown you. Come on, don't be shy.
Hi, Craig. This is Rick.
Hi, Rick. How you doing, mate? You're well?
Yeah, great to see you guys. I'm tuning in from Nashville, Tennessee, in the U.S.
Nice,
And,
nice.
Yeah, I got a question. I saw the note about HubSpot by Valeria, and I use Sales Navigator sort of as my quasi, CRM, but I know it's kind of a weak version of it.
Yeah.
The couple of apps that you mentioned, the Folk and Score app.
Yeah.
How do they compare to Sales Navigator? And I know HubSpot's, I've heard from others that it's an excellent CRM, but in your opinion, of those options, if you were to start from scratch and build today, and you wanted to capture these and take them off of LinkedIn, how would you do that?
So HubSpot is okay. HubSpot's old, and some people say it's good, but it is very clunky, right? It's kind of like an old-fashioned CRM from yesteryear. It hasn't really moved with the times, and although a lot of people say it's good for what it does, it's not very modern. It's probably the best way of explaining it, but they do a great free version. So if budget is an issue, then yeah, like when I started out on LinkedIn, I was all over HubSpot, and that's all I used, right? And it served me well, and it was fit for purpose. But now I use Go High Level, which does so much more. Like I can't even keep up with everything that Go High Level does. And, it automates so much for me, with all the automations and the unified feed. So when people respond to my emails, to my WhatsApp messages, to text messages, to Facebook messages, they all come through in this one unified feed. So I don't have to be like zipping from one app to another. It's just all there in one place. And they've got a lead connector app on your phone. So I don't even have to have WhatsApp or email on my phone. It's all on that one app. It's super cool. Yeah, and I love all the automations and the email follow-ups and everything else that it does. So yeah, so I'm a massive fan of Go High Level, but I still feel like I'm on a massive learning curve with it because there's so much to it. Then when we talked about Score App, so Score App is not a CRM. It's basically a lead magnet software, but like a really good lead magnet software. So the great thing, what I love about Score App is that unlike any other lead magnet out there, you're able to the leads that you capture are pre-qualified. And so let me show you what I mean. So like if I go to my profile now, and you can see that everything about my profile is asking people to get your profile score, get your profile score, get your free LinkedIn profile score. And then even down in the featured section, get your profile score, right? So I have two call to actions. The other one is join the community, right? But if somebody goes to here, to the featured section, they go straight through to my landing page. The landing page is saying the same thing, get your LinkedIn profile score. It's a full landing page. And when they come through, because what we're doing is we're leveraging curiosity and intrigue. When someone sees that link, they're like, I wonder what my LinkedIn profile score is, right? So they feel compelled to part with their information in exchange for their profile score. So they part with their information like so. We get their LinkedIn profile URL as well. Now, at this point, this is as much as you get with any other type of lead magnet. Because at this point, once we got their information, we would then deliver the free value. It could be an ebook or whatever, right? Whereas with Score App, what we're doing is we're taking them through to a quiz where they're then going to part with loads more information, which is great for us. It's giving us tons of data. It's giving us, we can even identify pain points with the questions that we ask. So if somebody comes through and they take my quiz like this, they're whizzing through 13 questions. That's all it is to get their LinkedIn profile score. At the end of the quiz, let me just whiz through this dead quick. At the end of the quiz, they're going to get this kind of visual representation of where they're doing well and where they're not doing so well. So they instantly know where they need to focus their attention to improve. Yeah. We've delivered on our promise, which is we've given them their LinkedIn profile score. So we've kind of subliminally, if you like, positioned ourselves as an authority. Like, we've also built trust and credibility because we've delivered on the promise. And in addition to that, we've gone one step above that because we can add dynamic videos. So if somebody's got a weak score, I can deliver a weak video, like feedback. And then if they've scored medium or average, I can give them an average video. And if they've done got a strong score, we can deliver a strong video message, right? And then also each one of these videos is directing people through to join the community for access to a free profile optimization masterclass worth 250 quid so they can improve their score, which then, so as a value ladder, we've got free profile optimization get your free LinkedIn profile score, join a $9 community to get access to a 250 quid profile optimization masterclass. Inside the community, we deliver more value, build more trust and credibility. And guess what? When some members of the community decide, actually, I don't want to do this myself, I want Craig to do it for me, I'm the go-to expert. I'm the one that they think of first. And so they come to me or Imran, right? So by delivering value, you're, like in this way, you're positioning yourself as that authority. But also we're under promising and over delivering, because we said we give them a LinkedIn profile score, but we're also giving them full reports that are personalized to them with actionable feedback on things they can do to improve. So they're happy, they go away. But then in the back end, as our leads are coming in on a daily basis, this is all organic from LinkedIn, right? All these leads are coming in, and when somebody takes the quiz, we can see where they're doing well, where they're not doing so well. If I go into the answers, I can scroll down, and based on, like, here, look, are you happy with the number of leads you're getting from LinkedIn profile? No is the answer. Pain point identified straight away. What's your current process for generating leads from your LinkedIn profile? Her answer was, I don't really have a process. So this is definitely somebody that I can help. And then to take things a step further, I can click on AI, sales email copy, and it will do me an email based on how that person has answered the questions that I can then send to them. Now, I personally don't send that. I prefer to send something that's a lot more condensed, and I use something called the seesaw technique. So I'll start with the positive and end with the negative. So I'd say something like, hey, Rowena, thanks so much for taking my profile quiz. Congratulations on your personal branding score of 86%. That really shows you know how to position yourself effectively on LinkedIn, although there's still some work to do. But I couldn't help but notice that you're unhappy with the number of leads that you're getting from your LinkedIn profile. If I could guarantee you a way of generating leads from LinkedIn, would that be worth a conversation? She's not going to say no, because she's already said she's got a problem in that area. And I've just indicated I've got a solution to it. Yeah. So it's massively powerful. It has lots of other features, things like in the insights, I could go to the answers, and I can see the data on each of my questions that's coming in from people taking the quiz. And if I wanted to, I could click on AI again. And if I wanted to do a LinkedIn post, bish, bash, bosh, it's going to do me at least the beginnings of a LinkedIn post, or give me an idea for a post which I could then turn into a carousel post. So now what we're talking about doing is creating data-driven content on LinkedIn that drives more traffic to my profile, that drives more people to take the quiz. So it's kind of like this endless cycle of lead generation through your content and through your profile. I could be here all day talking about, there's so much to Score App. It's just an amazing, like if you're thinking about building a lead magnet that integrates with your profile, Score App is the way to go. Definitely. It's just a no-brainer. And
Craig, when someone fills this out, does it automatically send their data into your Go High Level?
If we go into the integrate part here.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Right here.
So
yeah.
Gotcha.
So the answer is yes, that it does exactly that. You can even get like, I'm just in the process at the moment of setting. In fact, I've done it. I've set it up. When someone takes my quiz, within like 30 seconds of them completing the quiz, they get a WhatsApp message from me. And that WhatsApp message, again, it's like it's pulling tags from the scores that they've got. So the message is, it's automated, but as soon as they reply to me, I then just pick up the reins from my little app on here, and I just message them back when we get into a conversation. And before I know it, I'm booking an appointment with them. The great thing about WhatsApp, of course, compared to email, is that your response rates and open rates like 95%, because WhatsApp, it's just one of the, it's on your phone, it's trusted. The response rates are huge, like 95% response rates. It's crazy. So yeah, guys, sorry. So we've got 10 minutes left. Anybody else got any questions at all? Rick, you got any more questions, mate?
You know, you gave a lot of great tips. Several of those I'm already using, but
yeah.
The featured section, having a link instead of an old historical post. Yeah. I'm making that change today. That's gold. I'm not taking advantage of that lead generating technique.
Yeah, and another thing as well, when you I'll get onto your question in a minute, Richard. Just bear with me a second. I'll just say one other thing as well. When you're doing your featured section here, this is a fourth mistake that people make, is that they add a description underneath here. And if you add a description to, in fact, let me show you what happens. Right, so if I click on here right now, it will take me straight through to the landing page. Yeah. Now let's go back and let me show you what happens if you add a description to your featured section. Being slow. Come on. Okay, so click edit. Let's give one of these bad boys a description of I'm just going to say anything so I can remove it after. Who's that? Can everyone else hear that?
It's Susan, I think.
Okay. It's okay. Right, so if I click edit, and actually I'm doing the wrong one there. Let me do this one, edit. Give it a description. So I'm just going to say test. Click save. Go back to profile. Now, if I click on this, I get an annoying pop-up. So if you think about like friction, from a friction perspective, you need to, I always say, cut the fluff, cut the friction, right? You want as little friction as possible when it comes to your customer journey. So this annoying pop-up can be avoided just simply by removing this descriptive text. But the important thing to make sure you then get right is that the thumbnail and the title accurately describes the value that someone's going to get. It should still be compelling them to want to click it. So oftentimes I'll see people and they'll add loads of text on here. You can't even read it. It's that small. You want big text on your thumbnails that accurately describes the value someone's going to get so they feel compelled to click. Okay. So just be aware of that when you add your links, create a thumbnail. you know, that does exactly what it says on the tin. Okay, let me just edit that one again and save. And hopefully that's that done. Okay. Let me just go to questions. I knew someone was going to ask that, Samer. What pick size for the visuals? What I'll do is I will post that in the community, if that's okay, Samer. So let me just make a note of that, because I'll need to go into Canva to check it. Bear with me 1 minute, Samer. I'll send you a message through the community, Samer, as well, because I'm just mindful of time. And then Richard, no, who else asked a question? There was someone else that asked a question. Did someone? I'm sure.
It was Richard.
Yeah, I can't seem to find the question.
No, I didn't type it in chat.
Oh, you just put your hand up, didn't you, mate?
I just
Sorry.
stuck my hand up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, ask away, Richard.
I mean, you probably cover this in the community, but I'm still beginning to dip my toes in.
Yeah.
What's the best strategy for dealing with the random connection requests that come out of the blue that don't want? I mean, I always go back and say, thanks for the invite. Would love to find out more about who you are, what you're about. And, you know, so sometimes I've not taken any connections. Then I've decided, okay, let me try it for a month. And then I DM them and say, right, shall we grab a quick chat so I can find out what you're about? And nothing. And it just seems to be like a complete waste of time. Any ideas? What's the strategy to deal with that kind of stuff?
Okay, so if somebody sends me a connection request, if I go to network now, I've probably got, have I got one or any? No, let's go to manage my network, connections. So I don't know who sent me a connection request and who I've sent a connection request to, but what I would normally do is if somebody sends me a connection request, as soon as the connection request comes through, I try to send them my message first, which is welcoming them to my network, right? So I try to beat, and the way that what I do is, are you familiar with something called Magical? Has everybody heard of Magical before? Okay, Magical is another little Chrome extension. It's called the Magical Auto Text Expander. I've been using it for years and I absolutely love it, and you guys will too, because it will save you tons of time. But what you do is in Magical, you can see here that we've got templates, right? So if I click into templates, and you can basically create shortcuts for all of the things that you say regularly on LinkedIn or anywhere else for that matter. So so like, let's say if somebody sends me a connection request, I've got one called NC1. So that's the shortcut, NC1, new connection 1. So you can see what the message says. It basically says, great to connect. So how's LinkedIn treating you? How's your reach been? Sorry, that's the wrong one. That's MC1. I'm looking for NC1. There we go. Hey, thanks for reaching out with a connection request. Just out of curiosity, was there something about my profile or content that made you decide to send it? Or was it for some other reason? PS, have you taken time to get your LinkedIn profile score as well? And I'm dropping the link in there as well for that, right? So I'm kind of delivering value, but I'm also saying, like, what's your reason for sending me a connection request? By doing that, I'm nipping it in the bud. I'm nipping the pitch slap in the bud. Yeah, because they can't pitch slap me, because they need to respond to that, unless you do get the odd like out and out salesperson that will go, actually, you know, God's honest truth, I'm here to pitch you, right? That's kind of really brash, right? Which is great, which is fine. But at least I'm nipping it in the bud, and instead I'm flipping it around on them by getting to them fast. If you I don't know whether you've ever noticed, but I don't know whether you can still do it. and you might need a paid premium account to do it. Let's just see if you can still do it here. You can set an away message here, or message settings. Was it this one? Yeah, so you can set an away message. So you can set this up. And so if you turn this on and somebody sends you a connection request or a message, you can have it automatically respond to them as well. That's potentially something else that you could do. It doesn't nip it in the bud, but it's a way of automatically responding to them. Does that answer your question, Richard, or was there something else? I think you mentioned something else as well.
No, that's useful. I use an auto expander with a standard kind of response thing, but I like the question. What was there something particular?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's essentially the way that I do it. You will never be able to stop people pitch slapping you, right? That's always, that's like a problem that LinkedIn has always had. The only thing you can do is try to nip it in the bud and kind of flip the tables so that it's kind of more in your favor. So guys, it's 1 minute to, so that's it for today. I just want to say thank you so much for jumping on the call with me today. I hope you got some value from it. I hope you learned a few tips and tricks that you can make use of. And on a final note, if you know anybody that you think would get, some sort of value from the community, would really appreciate you maybe doing a post on LinkedIn about the value that you've got from today. If you're stuck for ideas of what to post, I'm just giving you an idea right now, right? So you could talk about the lead generation strategies that you learned today. And I don't know whether you all noticed today, I've made the profile optimization masterclass available inside the classroom to all of you now. It used to be the case that you had to, it used to be the case that community members had to invite 3 people to the community, or they had to buy it for 250 quid, right? So it was locked to you, right? It's now available to everybody in the community. All right. So if you know anybody else that would get value from that course, just by joining a community for $9 a month, they're going to get 250 quid's worth of value right from the get-go. Okay. And yes, these sessions are recorded, guys. Right. Thanks so much for being members of the community. I look forward to seeing you next time. All the best. Take care.